Happy Saturday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a wonderful week. I'm finally recovered from work, lack of sleep because of the Bushiroad Summer Conference that happened on Wednesday night. Again, thank you to all of you who joined me. Thank you to my co-host Audrey and also TCG for being there, hanging out, having some laughs, talking some cards and anime. So what we have going on today is about investing in sealed products in Weiss. And what I mean by that is new stuff, not old stuff. New stuff that just came out that you can relatively get for retail price or under. I don't want to talk about old stuff because old stuff is hundreds of dollars, and I myself don't buy that stuff unless I really want it bad. I've said it before. I've only ever bought 3 booster boxes over $100, and all of them were under $150. There wasn't one booster box that was over $150. So after that, what we're going to do is take a look at sealed product that came out this year. And I want to make sure to show everybody the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to see it all. It won't be as transparent as possible. And at the end of the video, I will be picking out the winners for the TCG Player giveaway. Due to that, I always put these picks at the end of a really long video just to prove to you that I'm not re-recording this because I don't have the time to do that, and the rigged $15 gift card seems nonsensical to do so. Again, thank you to the people that actually use my affiliate link. You make these giveaway possible when you click that link in the description of every video for TCG Player. A portion of that money that you purchase goes back to me. I take all that money and give it away as a giveaway because I feel like that's just actually fun to do. So again, thank you to those people. I believe investing in Weiss is viable in the long term. If you're looking for a short-term flip, you should watch my video right here. It's want to make money flipping new Weiss Schwarz product, everything you need to know. You can do it. You can make money. It just gets harder because obviously new people come in and they want to make that money too, right? More cards mean more people you need to sell to. And if that base isn't growing, then you're going to run into a huge problem. So what I will say with this is, before I go any further, I continue to still buy Weiss products. I spend the same amount as I did last year on Weiss. I might even spend more depending on what comes out, but I haven't dropped off or anything like that. I don't show you what I purchase on purpose just because I don't want to run into any issues with people because of all the issues that happened last year. We're not going to rehash all that, okay? So I will say one other thing as I'm looking at this page. Thank you to the 900 people that subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of you. I wouldn't have imagined where I'd be at this point given what again happened last year. So appreciate all of you being here and still sticking it out with me and watching these videos. I appreciate all of you. So we all know Weiss is print to order. We all know that some people are in it for the money. We know some people just want to collect shiny cards. Some people just want to play, which is cool. If you haven't seen the Casually Weiss Schwarz interview with Bushy Matt, it was pretty good. I liked the end of the video where Bushy Matt was talking about players and collectors. I have a lot of respect for what he said at the final moments of that video, and I reiterate those kind of thoughts because I've been saying that all along, right? All of us together make the overall card game collectible, whatever you see it for, amazing, and allows it to keep on going, right? Like, I'm only able to collect all of these sweet, sweet anime scenes because of all of you, players, collectors, investors, and I want to see it keep on growing. I've been seeing people asking about investing in Weiss. The replies back to the person are sometimes memey, right? We still get people that say, buy Batman Ninja, buy Madoka, buy Bang Dream. The Batman Ninja always makes me laugh when I see people say that because these are the same people that said it last year. They've been saying it for all this time, and if you look at the prices from where they were last year to this year, the people you told that to actually made a bunch of money, and they do sell, and people do buy the SPs for them, right? Like the SPs were cheap. Like a bunch of SPs were cheap. Not even Batman Ninja, but a lot of them, and they've gone up and people have sold it to the dismay or, whatever word you want to use here. People may be still upset about that, but it's the truth. They sold, right? The Batman Ninja that you told him to buy at $60, $70 last year is now really, really expensive. You go look it up. So some people get these shiny cards and then they sell dead boxes or they sell base cards to recoup money. Due to this, sealed products and cards have been dropping. We've all seen it. This has been good for the players because they're able to actually pick up cards for really cheap, right? It's one of those ones where, do you want to pay $350, $300 for a playset, or would you rather pay $200, $250? I think you want to pay the lower amount. It only makes sense that in that way, and it's definitely been helpful to grow the amount of interest in the actual game itself. And the shiny cards itself, you know, having more of them out there will reduce the price in the end. Again, you could say, well, look at some of the SPs. Yeah, I mean, they're the higher cards. They should have been worth something back then. I've always contended that, because Weiss cards, what everybody will say is they're beautiful, they're really collectible, they love the signatures, right? That's all what we all want. So we know reprints are still going to keep on coming out. However, I believe there are only so many sets that can be reprinted, right? Like, what does that actually mean? Reprints can only be done if there's so much demand. So when you think about Slime 1 that got reprinted this year, do you think in 2 years from now, Slime 1 will get reprinted again? You know, my thought is probably not. I don't think so, because reprints, for one, need the demand, and the other is print to demand. So people are stocking up on it now. They have too much of it now, which you're going to see later on in this video. I'll show you the prices on that reprint. On the sealed, you're going to see that there's enough out there that a reprint more than likely won't happen in this again, unless there's like this mega boom in Weiss Schwarz again, like where you exponentially get a bunch of people just showing up out of nowhere. So does this mean that investing in sealed product is dead? When it comes to reprints, not really. I mean, if they continue the whole Attack on Titan, let's not change the signatures at all, leave them exactly the same as the original, yeah, you're gonna have a problem there. You scared some people away doing that. I believe some sellers in general are going to be weeded out because of these lower prices, lower demand. And it's not only, it's not lower demand. I've seen people say that they're stopping selling it because of the lower demand. It's more because they have options on where to buy it, right? Like, you don't have to just stick to an LGS. You can go to online stores that have been doing really well. I made videos on that one, how you want to beat online stores, or if you're an online store, you use that strategy. And some people have definitely been doing exactly what I said. Not to say that they listen to me, but realistically, if you're in marketing or know how to different strategies, you're going to have picked up on it anyways. And that's what I've been seeing played out. So the demand is still there. It's more likely, and I see, because some of these people, the product that they're trying to sell, I was like, yeah, that makes sense on why the demand wasn't there. It wasn't Weiss in general, it was the set that you picked. And that's why I do those buy or invest videos, just to prove, you know, like, which sets are going to do good and bad. And I actually do look back at these. I go, oh yeah, I mean, I was completely right on it. No, I was wrong on it. I don't know if there was many that I was wrong on looking back, but again, I look for the future, long term, not short term. So I don't believe that investing in Weiss is a bad idea. I think it's a really good, because in the end, anime is growing. It's a growing market. It's going to continue growing. It's going to continue attracting more and more people. With the increased amount of money that we've seen flowing into Weiss, Bushiroad is increasing marketing and community outreach. We're getting more tournaments. We're getting Bushiroad on the road. It seems like they've been more active on Twitter. So it's all nice to see all the way around. And even the survey, you know, basically shows us what they're thinking in their mind on who they're targeting and all of that good stuff. So with that, that was a lot. That was a lot. But we're going to continue on and take a look at the items that have come out and will be coming out this year. So as you can see, I have the product page brought up, and we're going to start with the most recent one. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? We know this is about Hestia. It's about anti-meta. Again, we're just looking at sealed product, and instantly you can see what is going on here. So it's not very pretty. from just the general looks of it. So I'm just going to do some quick math here. You can see that outside of TCG Player, and I've told you before, you can't really use these unless you don't care about shipping. Because if I click into this one right here, it says $48.97. If you look outside of here, it's $46.97. The reason for that is because there is shipping. That seller that was out there, $46.97, there's $2 of shipping. So technically, yeah, you can pick it up $46.97, but you do have to pay $2 of shipping, right? So that's why I tend not to just look at these outside. For the sake of this video, I will be looking on the outside because it's just way easier on some of these. Some of them I'll click into, right? But you can see right away there's a humongous problem with, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? People went a little too heavy in my video about buy or invest. You could see the numbers as they played out. It's basically, you got Hestia or Ice, and if you didn't get those two, you're going to have major problems just because the SPs weren't like huge and amazing. The double rare Hestia doing really well. It's in the 16 still. So overall, like, Hestia is Bestia is what I've been told. And what you're starting to see is more and more people realizing or using the whole guaranteed drops that aren't guaranteed, and selling off a dead product. There's other people that are selling sealed, that they're really just selling sealed. Like they only buy sealed, they don't sell singles, they don't open at all. So I don't want to lump those people in, because there are some people that just have this product and they don't do any of that. But I see this more and more. Again, I've told you time and time again that when you want to buy a sealed product, make sure, and I'm not pointing out anybody here, I am not doing that. I'm not putting myself liable here to be sued by anybody. I'm not going to show you anybody, but realistically, if you are going to buy product, make sure you know what they're actually selling. So here's a list of people. A lot of this is just people buying and selling sealed product over and over again. And the big problem here is, you can see this one, 108. You could see there was another one, 139. So just those two alone were more than what you would see back in the day, right? Like on TCG Player. With those two, you just have a huge amount. But then you look across the board, you got 12, 10, 28, 3, 24, 18. You just have a ton of product, people buying into Weiss because they think this is a hot market and all of that stuff. And unfortunately, there's only so many players, there's only so many people that want to collect it. And now knowing that people can buy from distributors, people can go through different avenues, they're getting their product from elsewhere and they're buying it beforehand. So print to order is really bad in certain aspects, and this is one of those aspects, because people can do pre-orders, get the certain amount, and make sure they sell that amount, where other traditional people like stores or other online sellers that don't actually do pre-orders, they're buying into this thinking people will buy it. But you know what? They already got their pre-orders from somewhere else. And if that demand isn't there, you're going to get hit in the face with it. And that's what's actually happening here. So too many people are, I would say, buying too much product. Maybe they don't know what really, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon really was about. Like, they don't know the meta, they don't know about the SP prices and all of that stuff. So I think the lack of information is causing people to make horrible decisions. And I don't know, I've said this before, I don't know what retail, what stores, buyers, they actually buy their product for, but I think $48 is pretty bad. And then considering you have to pay for shipping, and you probably have to pay for fees on TCG Player if you're selling through TCG Player. So it's not a good time. I can't imagine you're really making too much money off of this price, if you're making money at all. And then we have the problem with this one with trial decks. So trial decks overall, there was two in there, right? We have Hestia and we have Ice. You hopefully pulled it. Some people pulled it. And this is what is happening here. We got 6450 is your lowest, and it goes all the way up to 110. With this trial deck, you know, you're going, in trial decks in general, you're gonna have to hope that the trial deck was really good used in the actual deck, so there'd be some buying there. But we're gonna see with Hololive is how a useful deck is versus a non-useful deck. And with the trial deck for Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, you could see 1485 is where it's at, because some people were looking to just get Hestia and Ice SPs and sell off the rest, and other people were, going to use some cards from it, but there is just an oversupply of these happening here. I actually did a video about investing in trial decks too, in general, like, should you buy a ton of them? Right, like it's one of those ones that it's a good idea to get some, to get mountains of them. Not really a good thing if you're looking for SPs. Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to get your SP to guarantee it, but then you have to try to sell these things, or you sell your SP, which is the what you tried to go for. So you can see the prices on this is really ugly. Again, really, what I'm saying is you need to pick out and make sure this is the set that is going to do well on its own, not just because it's Weiss, because of the anime, because of the playability, because of everything like that. Because print to order is exactly that, print to order, and what we're finding out is people are looking to open and sell, and that's what's happening here. So we need more players. We need more players. It's funny because that was one of the first videos that I actually did. Like when I go all the way back, how do I go all the way back? Sort by date added, oldest. Oh, there's my fireworks ones. Let's see. All right, here it is. Weiss Schwarz doesn't have a supply problem, it has a player problem. That was always my main contention from way back. Was that one of my... That was like my second Weiss Schwarz video. And it still exists today, and you can see that across the board here. You could definitely say that when it comes to Fate Grand Order movie, Divine Realm of the Round Table, Camelot booster box. Yeah, this one was bad, right? It wasn't like some groundbreaking meta tier set or anything like that. It was just, it didn't even have signatures in it. It had serial numbers, and if you didn't care for the characters, if you didn't care for the serial numbers, and you can play it, but do you really want to play it? What you got left with was a set that wasn't the greatest, and you could see that here. I know people were like all excited to chase serial numbers and all of that. However, I said that you're going to be in a collector trap by doing that. And on the Bushy Red Summer Conference, myself, Audrey, we're talking about serial numbers and how like myself and I don't remember what Audrey said, but myself and were saying like it's boring at this point to have these serial numbers. It doesn't really add anything to it. If anything, you remember the fact that there's no signature there, and if it's not for a set that you're really interested about, you're not going to care for it, and that's exactly what's happening here. I don't know why stores bought this. Maybe they weren't informed. I know I have to go back and figure out when the pre-orders opened for this and when it was announced that the signatures wouldn't be on there. It might have happened at exactly the same time. And I say in part that people probably didn't know about that, or they just were excited that Weiss has a new product, then they were just buying into it as sellers do. So as I look, some of these names look familiar from the... I really want to click on some of them, but I'm not going to just point at one of them, right? So I'm not going to do that. So we have, well, and what I mean is, it would be interesting to actually follow certain sellers and see how much they bought. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore, just because I know there's just going to be a glut of booster boxes because people buying into it. These people definitely will be eventually weeded out. So that's going back here. I was saying they're going to be weeded out. They'll be weeded out. I mean, you've had so many sets in a row that have done, just okay. I'm not going to show these right now. So Hololive, at first when I was going to do this video, I had these cards up, but this is focusing on sealed. But anyways, while I'm here, I'll just show it, screw it. You can see SPs, they're not doing so well. I mean, they keep on going down. This isn't like SAO though. SAO did pretty okay, just because of the IP. Fate Grand Order. Fate, man. I've said it. Fate, I can't get into these ones that came after. It's not like I don't like Mosh. It's more just, I like the original Fate, but them going off in all these different tangents, I don't want to see that. I don't want to be there for that. Next, we got Hollow Live. So Hollow Live, it's what do we say about Hollow Live? It's done well. I think it's done really, really well given everything that's happened. Hollow Live was one of the latest ones, I would say, that they had this whole restock happen, which basically meant we noticed that with, I would say, Quintessential Quintuplets, Rent a Girlfriend, Mushoku Tensei, Hollow Live, that a restock happened, not a reprint, but a restock. So that means that product was being held back, and these distributors, I guess, maybe invested in it. I know people wanted this back in the day. If you think back to a year ago, I know that's pretty rough. Like what on anything. If I told you to think back a year ago on like what you're doing during a certain month, or what time you went to a vacation, what time of year you went on vacation, it's hard. Like you have to think about it. When we were talking about the whole Weiss Schwarz product availability and all that, people were saying to me, I wish stores would hold on to more product. Like they would buy it so that if someone walks in, they can get it. And that's kind of what distributors were doing, right? They were buying extra product, or stores are buying extra product. And once it would sell out, the prices would go up. And now we have a restock, and now we have an abundance of product because people are holding off on putting these for sale, right? They're trying to make more money, which is what a store or distributor obviously wants to actually do. They want to make more money. And this is what happened with Hollow Live. So Hollow Live came out. The two big ones that I remember was, let's see, Third Generation and Gamers. Third Generation is in Gamers were in hot demand. You had some really nice cards in there. You have playable cards in there. And because of that, somehow those two, for whatever reason, were missing in action. Some people got them, some people didn't. There was a restock of those. They came weeks later, and they were really, really expensive. Even 4th gen, I think, was like pushing 30. Let me just hit 3rd gen real quick. 3rd gen, if we can go back. Oh, geez. Look how many sales this is. Let me just watch me scrolling through this thing. Holy crap, someone bought 24. They must have really liked that one. They were 20s, 30. Oh, keep going. Keep going. They're in the 40s. It goes further, but you can see they were in their 40s at one point, and that was just because of this whole, I want to say, artificial holding back of product. Is that fair to say? No one's ever really told me, explained to me why this all happened, but that I think that's, in my mind, fair to say. And you can see what happened here. The prices went from like 120 on a display of 6 down to 70, 80, $90. And trial decks definitely you have to be worried about. I think this is going to be fine. Hollow Live's going to be fine. Like if you look at how many here, 21 listings of the booster box, it's $69.96, which isn't too bad. And for as much as it's been out there, like how much product actually went out there booster box wise, 21 listings, that's not too bad. I know people probably have like cases of this sitting somewhere, but overall on TCG Player, not bad. And do you think Hollow Live is going to go away in the future? Maybe not, but that's where the nostalgia, where people want to actually have these cards, where when people look back and get into Weiss Schwarz and look back and see a Hollow Live actual set, will they buy it? Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll do that. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm surprised actually that there's no Hollow Live English announcement that happened. I'm not saying on the one that came out for summer for the English side, even the Japanese side. You'd think they would try to pump that out sooner than later. Actually, maybe the Hollow Live English should have just been announced on our side as a coming first, and then they could go to Japan first. But this is our Hollow Live people, right? Like we should get it first in that way. But Hollow Live should do really fine. The boxes continue to sell, as you can see here. This is July 23rd. We're all the way down here to July 20. Let me zoom in there. there's plenty. There's plenty of sales happening. Hololive continues to sell, and I can imagine it's just gonna go up and up eventually. And what I wanted to show with these trial decks is it's amazing how many people want to actually have a sealed version versus an already open version, because you can look through, people have been trying to sell like these open ones. You can see this one $12.50 plus $4 shipping. I know this one right here is, there's only one, but $8.99 plus $4.95. And you can see, like, if you look at these prices, for these were 20, 16, that might have been an open one. But you see 20s all the way down here. And really, what I'm saying with that is, even though there are cheaper versions of these open ones, I all along said I wouldn't buy this one for $16.50, even though these could be mapped already, like these could be dead trial decks. I'd rather have a sealed one for my collection or to open just to have that feeling versus having someone else go through that. And that's the hard part about these. I know people could sell these things for like $10 and under, but once you start breaking, let's say $15, do you really want the $19.99 unopened one, or do you want the $16 opened one and potentially missing a card? Right, this thing is no triple rare inside of there, so I don't like that, and that was always the hard part about these opened ones, that you're gonna have to sell them for a bit less, but it's okay. I mean, 10 times, let's say 46 is still $460. I know shipping and all that good stuff, but it's not bad to get some of your money back. Same thing with Hololive Generation 2. You can see down here, there's more down here, but people really want Sun open one, and I'm with you on there. That I'd rather have an unopened one. Okay, I'm just moving on. Date a bullet surprise set. I remember when I made an opening, and then I did some analysis on this. People were pissed. I mean, if you're wondering, I still do get some angry emails. I still get people saying stuff to me. I kind of just ignore it at this point, and I ban them. But I'm better about that. We grew. It's been a year. I've grown since then, but Data Bullet was one of those ones that I got some hate for on the surprise set, and I was saying this is a bad product just because of the fact that there were no booster packs in there. It came out really late from when it released. I'm trying to remember when this actually came out. It was it May? April? March? No. These were the people that pre-sold. So sometime in April maybe is when it came out, and that's what I said about memory. Do you remember when this stuff comes out? So April, I think it came out in April. 11/24. I remember this thing was selling in the 20s. This thing, I think I bought mine somewhere in the 20s. And this one is 11/24 at this point. What came in there was PR card. We have a deck separator, a deck box. Cool looking box. It was really nice, and sleeves, so really nice stuff inside of there. 11/24, totally worth it at this point if you actually want to get it. I know there was a lot of thought given to how much this PR was worth. Is it like a Ruby kind of situation inside of the supply set where you get that promo PR card? But I was like, you could just buy 1,000,000 of these and have all these promo cards. And you can see here, there's definitely enough for... someone could come in here and just buy it all. I don't say to do that. That's insane. Because why I say that is, if you take a look at the foil PR, there is 12 listings on here, $2, and I see no sales for this at this point, right? Because you can just buy one yourself. Why? It goes back to that Hololive trial decks, right? Do you want to buy this for $2? Yeah, if you don't have the $12, not critically judging you on that or anything like that. If you just want this card, yeah, feel free to buy it for $2. For me, I'd rather have the pleasure of opening it myself, getting my own card, knowing that, no one else touched it. Plus I get this cool deck box. I get these sleeves. See, so you have these deck box right here. There is actually a couple sales on it, right? Like you can see on June 30th, $11.75. People bought this for $11.75 when you could have just bought a whole surprise set for $11. Well, I don't know when that price came up, but let's see. Let's go back. June 30th. No, $11.39. You could have got it for 11. You could have gotten the whole surprise set for what this person paid for a whole deck box. And then you also get these sleeves, which is pretty nice, right? I mean, it hasn't sold many, but $15. But you see the point here. Like the surprise set overall, not much demand. Sorry to the people that were pissed off at me, but that was just the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you here. This wasn't good. This wasn't good on the huge delay of that. Maybe when Data Live 2 comes out, they'll attempt this one again, but I was gonna say you might as well just. I was gonna say put booster box packs in there, but that's just a supply set. So maybe put out a supply set. The surprise set not so good. The good thoughts were there. Just the timing was bad on what happened there. We have Bang Dream Girls Band Party Premium Booster Box. I told you to stay away from this if you are not a fan of Bang Dream because the resale on this was going to be bad. I remember this thing selling in 70s. I think so, there was 70s in here. Yeah, 80s. You even have an 80 down there. Shoot. So you had it in the 70s, and from there it dropped majorly. It's down to $42.88. In my video, I show you why it was going to do that. It was because you have all the same cards in every box. Every pack will have a different shiny card in it of a different band member. So technically, if your luck was with you, all you needed to do was buy 5 boxes of this, and you have all the cards that you're going to have in it. And unfortunately, the case of 10 right here has dropped for the sellers. I say unfortunately because I know some people have been having a hard time getting rid of it, and they're trying to get rid of it on Facebook. So they were saying they were selling it at distributor pricing, which means they took a decent loss on this one if they're selling it for that much. So this thing still needs to continue dropping further, because right now $498.68 is too high when you take a look at the actual individual box. Because really, you could just buy 3 of these to lessen your chance of getting a duplicate, and then just buying the singles and finishing it out. That's really what you could do. Or you just buy the singles. I would say gamble on some of these, and then me personally, I would gamble on a couple boxes and then fill in the singles that I need. That's what I would actually do here if you want all of them. Mushoku Tensei, finally, we get one that counters all this horrible stuff that's been going on. I mean, we had Hollow Live, which, booster boxes at 69, pretty good still. It's above. But Mushoku Tensei was one of the ones that actually stood out because of the huge playability of it, the meta, and then you have people that really love this what do you call it? This franchise, this IP. I was gonna say the anime, but I know there was a lot of people that really love it for the manga. So you can see here, this one's doing fairly well. 23 listings. Even Hollow Live is, what was it, 21? Now we have 23. Mushoku Tensei. Trial deck displays 7, $213.87. And look at the trial deck, $38.94. Right? Huge playability. We'll see if we get that ban list coming over for Mushoku Tensei, what will happen there. And then cases 1239. This is one of those ones I was waiting for the reprint to happen on, but it never happened because there were people that didn't need the reprint because they had it in, let's say, the back room. They had it in the back room. So distributors restocked stores, and there it was. That's why there was no need for a reprint, because there was supply out there. It just wasn't getting to everybody. And yeah, it's nice. So you do have sets that do really well. You just have to pay attention, right? Like the playability, the anime, all that good stuff. What I go through every time, like going through this stuff. The SPs on here that are dropping, but here we go. $78.97. People still buy this. You can see this right here. So Mushoku Tensei as Hollow Live are doing really, really well here. Right, they continue to sell, and that's nice to see. It's nice to see that it's not sold out right away, and it continues to have product and people can come and get it. Will we ever see a reprint one day of Mushoku Tensei? I don't know anymore. I don't know. I've been saying you need to reprint this, but who knew all those distributors or stores had it, like, just waiting to drop it on people. Trial deck display, we know the Roxy was the one you wanted. You didn't want the Rudius. $213.87. actually never opened any of my Mushoku Tensei product. I had it sitting there, and I just had no real reason to open it. I didn't want to play the deck. I've seen the cards. I've seen people opening it. I just, there maybe in a few years I'm gonna open this thing up and relive the experience of Mushoku Tensei. But at this point, no, I haven't even bothered. And you can see here with the trial deck, are people still buying it? Yes, they are still buying it, and the 3894 number still exists. So it sells a couple. It's not a mountain of them, but at the same time, this reminds me of Data Live. I haven't gone back and looked at the Data Live trial decks, but I wonder how those are doing. So Rent a Girlfriend, one of the ones that I like the series. I especially like season 2. I don't know if anybody, just as a side here, did anybody watch the episode from last night? It was really good. I loved it. It was a Ruka episode. I love Ruka and I hate Kazuya. Kazuya. Just because of how he redeemed himself, but the way he like treats her, it's just I get why he's doing what he's doing, but man, it's Ruka. I hate the fact that he does that to Ruka in general on what's going on there. But I love Rent a Girlfriend. I definitely imagine a season 2 set should be coming unless another card game takes it. But I would love to see a Rent a Girlfriend Volume 2 coming out, and hopefully it powers this one up. This is why I say I didn't like this set all this much, because in the meta-wise, it wasn't very strong at all. It wasn't one of those ones that you're going to be winning tournaments with. I mean, you could win a game, but maybe not win a tournament. So the booster box is overall doing really well, right? Like, look at that, 69.68. If I click into it, it is 69.68. There is free shipping. So when you think about that one versus like, Don Machi, you still do it. This one's pretty nice. This is one of those ones that I've said before got a restock. And overall, we know with the trial deck display, 84-87, because you are looking for that Chizuru, who was the only one in the actual trial deck to have a signature. So you got 2 of her. She's doing pretty well. Overall, this is what I mean by you can't just, you can pick and choose which ones you want. That's why I continue to buy everything. Like, I buy a little bit of every set for my own personal collection. Investment wise, I go up and down given the set, but you never really know. I mean, this 1743 isn't a huge win, because I know stores that buy it, that's not all that much money. But I think with the franchise itself, long-term wise, right? Like, you think long-term, it'll do fairly well, because this IP does, people love it. It's a love-hate thing, but the people that hate it continue to watch it, which is, I think they were saying something like it's like a train wreck, or a car accident. You got to keep looking at it. Even though you don't want to, you keep watching it, which to me is one of those ones that just proves how well of a franchise this is actually is. You're not gonna, the whole purpose is that you're gonna like all 4 of them. You're supposed to like maybe 1, 2 of them, but not all of them. And that's what it is. You need, that's like wrestling. You can't have 2 good guys fight each other the entire night, because that's really boring. You need a good person, you need a bad person. Rent a Girlfriend, look at this, the cases. 3 cases sold, 74, 75, 75, doing really well. I think Rent a Girlfriend is one of those ones that I said in my video where this thing is going to eventually sell out. If it wasn't for that restock, people holding it, I think it would have already been gone by now. But this is one of those sets that will continue to eventually sell out, do really well in the future, just because of the IP. Total disregard for like the playability and all that. But with a volume 2, that should change things, right? So moving on. Well, we got Morfonica, SUILEN. I love these. If you know me, I love Bang Dream. So this is heartbreaking to me to see some of this stuff. Look at this. Trial deck Morfonica. Let me click in. Did I click into this? Let me, hold on. I did. $9.99 is what you're looking for Morfonica. This reminds me of the good old days of about a year ago when Bang Dream. I know you could get Bang Dream like originals for $10. It was like Haruhi, right? Haruhi was like $10 trial decks. And then you have all the, I think there's three of them. SUILEN, then you had that Roselia one, and then you had the Poppin'Party one, right? They were all pretty low price-wise. And you can see that here, Morfonica, same idea. And it's not for the fact that this wasn't playable. There is a playable Tsukushi inside of this trial deck. It's more just, I think people overbought and didn't realize the IP of Bang Dream in general. Even though I love it, not everybody does. So, the extra booster, 2281, super drop. You could, I mean, you could just see that. Hold on. Boom, you can see this. It's gone down. I love it, but again, if you take a look at the SPs, you'll notice right away that they're not like huge sellers. They don't go for humongous prices. If your name isn't Yukina, you're not going to be, I guess, really high priced. And then with the trial deck displays, which is kind of interesting. So it makes you wonder right here. I know not everybody buys a full display. You have $10 price right here, $10, $12.95, so a couple, but you have displays in the 91.69. You know, just doing the math on that, right? Like 60 versus the 91.69. There is a premium, I guess, on buying a sealed display, which makes sense as long as this wasn't mapped out or anything. And then lastly is Poppin'Party Roselia Extra Booster 26.85. So it's held up its price over Morfonica and Raise the Sealant, and it always made sense that it was going to do that. You definitely want the Lisa that is inside of this box. I know I saw a tweet about the new rules, and one of the Chuni clan put up a picture of the Sayo inside of this thing. I think it was the rare Sayo that makes you draw mill 20 cards. I think your opponent has the mill 20 cards if you have that climax there. Something like that, but definitely that Sayo is fun to play. By the way, that rule change that they had there with the refresh, it makes sense to me. It was one of those ones I would imagine, because I was a new player, and you know, like you could say, you don't really play. Well, I play a little bit. And I would say that refresh rule never made any sense to me about like the order of when it's actually processed, right? Like it never really made sense to me, because I think of it like as a conversation. If someone interrupts me, like they come out of nowhere and interrupts me, they're gonna finish saying what they had to say. Same thing with refresh, interrupting, you know, like the order of actions. I felt like you'd have to finish the refresh and take the refresh damage and move on. Anyways, so they were pointing out that Sayo inside of here, draw 20, that, or mill 20, draw 20, mill 20, is one of those cards to look at. It's interesting, right? So there we are. The case of this, anyways, didn't sell. There's only one, 77777. Interesting. I find that funny because, ironically, right, 777 is a pretty lucky number, and then you have simply unlucky, which is not unlucky if you use that. So anyways, moving on. We're moving on. So now we're here on the reprints. And I know we talked about reprints at the beginning of this video. So reprints here. What do we got here with these reprints going on? Reprints happen. These are print to order. Obviously with slime, there was a difference in the coloring of the reprints. 51.59, is that where we're at? Nope, that was shipping. So 53.59, is that $2 shipping? Seriously, $2 shipping. Okay, they really like that $2 shipping. 53, I would hope. I mean, I'm not a super sender of items or packages or anything. I'm that dude that went to the post office to send my friend like a care package and had to pay like $25 for shipping for some unknown reason, where I see somebody with like the same size box and roughly same weight, and they're paying like $10. So I don't know if shipping's really $2 or they just mark it down that way, but 53.59 is what we're looking for. Pretty horrible if you were one of those people that thought you could just make money flipping this really quick. For me, this is definitely a long-term kind of hold. Definitely a lot of people liked it because it preserved collector value because of the different color of the signatures. At the same time, it helped people get cards that they needed. There is that Milene card inside of there that you needed. You also were able to pick up some Shizus if you wanted some of the Shizus. Overall, reprint, really cool. I enjoy it. And Slime is one of those IPs that have done really well, and I think will continue doing really well. I imagine that we should get another season. I didn't look it up. I have no clue if another season's coming out, but I would imagine there'd be another season of that show, just because of how well it's done already. So yeah, we should see another set one day if they continue doing this. We'll see another set. Long term, I have no doubt in my mind that this will do really well. More just because anime is gonna be here to stay. It's pretty good. Attack on Titan, though. I was gonna show Nazarick, but that hasn't happened yet. So we're on Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is that one where they left the signatures exactly the same. There was no difference between box one, first printing and second printing in this case. And well, it's not even the second printing. But anyways, this iteration of reprint had no difference between the original and now. Because of that, prices have gone down. $64, $65, 63. Yeah, okay. That's what they are. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this one. More, we've talked about it before, that you know, it was not the greatest thing to do. People are definitely upset. People that bought these booster boxes for, let's actually say, $190. People that bought it for $190 would probably be really angry, because now they could have bought it for $65. That was all a bad move. Like, if we go back here to Slime, look at this first print. $399.95. I actually haven't gone back and checked this. I can't believe this, because there was this they mixed the second edition and the first edition together on TCGPLAYER for a little bit of time. I would have thought some of these would have came back, but I guess people are like, I wanted the second edition, and they just assumed it was. For me, if I could have got a first edition for $70, that would have been pretty sweet. But maybe I didn't get the whole list of all that were bought, or may have potentially been returned. So Attack on Titan booster box gone down. It should do well. I mean, we'll see what the card reveals, what happens from here, how many cards you need from here. And the double rares definitely have gone down just a little bit, and we'll see. This will be cool to see how this plays out. It just horrifies me still that people buy pre-order for these prices, right? I mean, I know there's only 4 sales here, but $92.99, 84, well, $85. It just horrifies me to see that. It's one of those ones I wish I knew who these were, so then I could just tell them, please stop doing that. It's awful. Like these people that buy, not the sellers, but the buyers. The sellers are going to sell for whatever they can sell for, and it makes sense. You know, you're a store. You got to do it. Attack on Titan, Volume 1. This is, I mean, it continues to sell, does okay. It's one of those ones, I don't know how much people bought. Like, I think some stores sold out. I think some just didn't bother buying it. I know people were like, just buy Volume 3. I don't know. There's not as many as I would have thought there'd be. Like stores or sellers, right? Like if I go on Facebook, how many people are really saying, compared to other sets that have come out, that they have a bunch of booster boxes for sales? It's not as heavy, so people didn't get into the reprint as much as one would have imagined. So lastly, we have Tokyo Revengers and Quints coming out. So Tokyo Revengers, this is going to be a fun watch, as in what's going to happen to these prices. I feel like even though Tokyo Revengers is a good IP, I wonder what's going to happen with the lack of females inside of these booster boxes, right? Like you could say that with a little bit with Attack on Titan, but Tokyo Revengers definitely heavy on that side, because we've seen people collecting. We've seen Hestia, like the more lewd pictures come out, cards being bought up. That's a thing. With Tokyo Revengers, it's guys, it's a good story. I love this anime, but really, I don't know what's going to happen with this one. So it'll be an interesting kind of like, are collectors really into it? I know the IP is good, but are the collectors going to really buy into this one as much? We'll find out. And Quintessential Quintuplets right here. Very last one is $75.91. I haven't done my buyer invest video on it. If you're wondering, I'm buying a bunch of it because for one, I love Quintessential Quintuplets. Two, it's going to do, for me, I think it's going to do well in the future. we'll see what happens with the movie set, what comes out from that one. Like, what cards you may or may not need from Quintessentials 1, Quintessential Quintuplets 2, and the one problem with Quintessential Quintuplets is they know they're going to sell a lot of it. It's strong in the meta. They sold a bunch of Quintessential Quintuplets 1. There was supposedly a reprint. It was never one of those ones that I've seen personally. I just heard people say reprint, reprint, reprint. There was a restock of them, and I would imagine the same thing is going to happen with Quintessential Quintuplets 2. If you have not seen the images on some of these cards, there are some cards that are definitely going to be targeted for playability. Some of them are going to be targeted for what's actually on the card itself, picture-wise. So I would imagine this is one of those heavier purchase sets from stores, on the store end, unless they were already spooked by like some of these sets already. But this one should do really, really well. Yeah, so that is basically everything. Oh, I have this picture up. If you really made it to this far at the end here. Actually, let me just wrap up. So going back through all of this again, do you invest in Weiss Schwarz? Should you invest in Weiss Schwarz? I would say if you're that person that just wants to get in and out, like you're short-term flipping, again, I have that video right here. You can check it out and see like if this is going to work for you. Right here. Want to make money flipping new Weiss Schwarz product? Everything you need to know. I would caution you on that. Long-term investing, like you're gonna wait year, 2, 3, something like that. I think you're fine. But I also love this game, so that's like where my bias is. I love the game, and I love collecting these cards. I love the series that come out for it. The majority of these sets, I really do love the actual anime with it. So for me, it's always going to be a buy. Some sets aren't worth buying, and I pointed that out. Some are totally worth getting into, and that's where we are. It's you need to know what kind of person you are. If you're in it for the long haul, great. If you're not, maybe you just target certain sets. But outside of that, you've seen what happened in the past year. It's not going to be a fun time for you, and you can see that across the board on other TCGs, unless your name is like, Masters something from Magic the Gathering that's doing really well. If you have some amazing stuff in there, I haven't looked at the other ones. I haven't looked at MetaZoo or anything like that, but imagine. I remember WeCross, like people like all excited for that. Rebirth for You is not really meant for reselling. I haven't looked up prices for Oscar yet. Oscar is how you say it. Oscar. I'm just so used to saying Oscar, but Oscar. I haven't looked up prices for that. Laid Back Camp came out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Spy Family and what's the other one? My Dress Up Darling, how that one's going to play out. We'll see. I have my thoughts on that just because it's Japanese sets only, and those don't always translate to do well. It might be a good IP, but it might not translate really well when it comes over to here. Okay, so yeah, and when I brought this up, I remember I don't know why flipping. Maybe there's like flipping in here somewhere, but I have these pennies from Canada that I was wondering how much they were. They were like the last 1 million that came out, and here it is, the last 1 million cents. They're pretty expensive, actually. Overall, for like a roll of pennies, 26 Canadian. I don't know what happened here. It was like 43 Canadian, and then down here it was like 71.95. So pennies overall. Nice. I like coin collecting. It's really fun. You should check out some coins. They're very pretty as well. So here is TCG Player link. Not sure why I had this up here, but I do have it here. So I am going to use this moment here to say we are doing the TCG Player giveaway. As always, what's going to happen here is I'm going to spin this wheel 3 times. The 3rd time is the actual winner. Let me explain everything real quick once more. So TCG Player, again, link is in the video description or in my profile, as you saw there. Like down here, TCG Player, you click it, you buy something off TCG Player. I get a portion of the money, and the portion goes back in the form of this giveaway. I give all the money back in the form of a giveaway to all of you, just as a thank you. You should support your local LG. You should support your LGS if you have one. If not, and you need to buy cards, go on TCG Player and buy some cards, and we can do these fun giveaways. This survey giveaway was for the Bushy Road Summer Conference. There's going to be 3 winners. So this wheel that you see before you is for question 1. How many of the Bushy Road announcements did you get for Weiss Schwarz? I let people put down 3. I let you change it all the way up until the Wednesday morning when I woke up, and we had someone that had it all right, 100% correct, but they're not from the United States. I believe when they answered the question for United States, they wrote down RIP. So I am assuming you are not from the United States. I apologize for that. TCG Player is basically for the United States, so that's who is eligible to win this. The next 2 people that were tied, as you can see here, is Audrey and Black Thunder. They got 2 of the guesses right. Again, what was announced was Data Live, Kaguya, and Avatar. So they got the Data Live and Kaguya correct. So I'm going to spin this off. To prove that this wheel is not rigged or anything, what I did was I put their names down multiple times. You can see that here, 10 times, just so it's not like you have a 50-50 shot and you could say like maybe the wheel is broken or something. So I put their names down multiple times, and I'm going to spin this. On the 3rd spin is the winner of the first gift card. The reason I'm doing that, the 3rd spin, is just to prove to you that the wheel actually works. So good luck to both of you. Good luck, Audrey. Good luck, Black Thunder. Here we go. So spin 1 doesn't count. Spin 2 doesn't count. And see, so wheel works. Audrey. Spin again. This is wheel off number 2. Black Thunder. Okay. And all right, this is a gift card number 1, $15 TCG Player gift card goes to oh my god, Audrey won. Audrey never believed that this day would ever come, and it is today. So congratulations, Audrey Sampson. You do not have to send me an email. I obviously know who you are, and I will send you your gift card. So now I'm going to do the participation one. So if you see here, I'm going to delete all these names. I'm going to put these names on here. I'm taking Audrey off because Audrey just won, and we're going to do this again. So we have the participation people on here. So here are all your names. You will be going for, there's 2 winners on this time around. So again, I'm going to spin it 4 times. So first 2 don't count, 3rd one counts, and the 4th one counts. Okay, again, just to prove to you this wheel works and your name's on here and everything like that's good. So we are going to do this. Press the button. So this is wheel number 1. Spin number 1 doesn't count. And close. Number 2 doesn't count. Good luck to all of you again. Marine Admiral. All right. So this is spin number 3. This one counts. And I'm so tired from talking that whole time. Blah, blah. I love blah, blah. Congratulations, sir. Or lady. You never really said who you were, but congratulations to you. I'm going to remove your name, obviously, because you just won. Good luck to all of you. Good luck, good luck. Yo, Marine Admiral, you won. There's so many good names on here. I wish all of you can win, but there's always next month. So Marine Admiral Geronimo, and blah blah. So this is how this works. What you're going to do, well, what I'm going to do, if you beat me to it, is I'm going to put in the comments where you wrote back to me in that video. I'm going to say you won. You need to email me. You need to email me your YouTube username, your lucky number, and if those match, just to prove who you are, then I am going to send you your gift card in that email back to you. So again, $15 gift card. You need to get back to me within a week. I don't want to just wait around, okay? But you got 1 week to do so. Appreciate you all. That's everything. Holy crap, this is long. I am super thirsty. I didn't drink during that whole time. So thanks again to everybody that does purchase through TCG Player. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all of you that I know this has been 1 hour long, so if you're still with me on this one, thanks for everybody for being here. I really do have a lot of fun doing these. I really want to do some anime discussion videos as a side for my own, because I love watching the season's so good. I don't know if anybody's watching this. Licorice Recoil, so good, and I'm putting that on my thumbnail. I'm gonna work this in yet, but I'm gonna put that on my thumbnail. It's such a good anime. You should check it out. I think it's one of those ones where I think people are gonna overhype it too much. But if you don't like that kind of anime, but I really like this kind of anime. I think people might hype it up too much that people are gonna watch and be like, "Ah, it's not that great." But I'm really enjoying it. I really want to just talk about anime at this point. Getting tired of like some of these videos that I do of just talking about money. I've said this before about just talking about money, because to me this is all about collecting and enjoying the cards and all that. I just do some of these videos as another topic that people can watch for Weiss Schwarz. That's all this really is. Okay, so as always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. Have a good one, everybody.